So I have just learned something that is literally blowing my mind, and I actually had to share it with you guys. I'm so excited to tell you. So what I've actually learned, just through having a little browse around on the internet, there wasn't like tons of research that went into this. You know, you get them little Russian dolls, and you sort of like you take one in, and then there's another one in it, and then you take that one out, and then you open that, and there's another one in it, and they look a little bit like that. I've tried to do my best drawing, and as you can tell, I am totally like the next big artist to take over the world because my pictures are amazing. But them, you know the ones I'm on about? Well, they were created in. Let me get this right. I think it was 1945 it was created, and it was created by the Soviet Union in Russia, and it was actually to sort of show to the people how their family should be. So the idea behind it is that you have the male as sort of the big one, and then the typical family lineup would be his wife, who's a little bit shorter. Then you have like their eldest child, who's a little bit shorter than the mother. Next child, a little bit shorter. Next child, a little bit shorter. And obviously, the line carries on going. And it's to try and get people to sort of reproduce, because obviously, you know, they needed the workers, and fuck the Soviet Union. See, the only problem with that story is that everything I've just told you was a lie. It was fake. I made that story up on the spot. How good am I? Aren't I the best? And I suppose some of you watching it, deep down, while I was telling you that story, you probably thought, something's not right about this, but whatever, don't really care. And you sort of went along with the story, didn't you? And that's the fault of many people these days who are sharing Britain First. When I say that they're sharing Britain First, what I actually mean is on Facebook, on Twitter, that sort of thing. So who is Britain First? Britain First is basically the far right over here in the United Kingdom. The idea is, politically speaking and sort of personality speaking, mentality speaking even, to put Britain first, our needs as a country first. Sounds beautiful, the idea, doesn't it? It really does. The only thing is, in reality, not actually that good. So like I said, Britain First is the far right over here in the United Kingdom. They basically want the white man to be in power, and that's about it. So what Britain First is actually made up of is a couple of groups on the far right. You have the BNP, which was the British National Party, now pretty much defunct. I mean, you get a couple of people still saying, vote BNP, but a lot of people went to the polls earlier this year and went, we can't. And a lot of people from the EDL, English Defence League, they've signed up to Britain First. And something I read today really disturbed me. I think I might be onto something when I say the Britain First might actually be a little bit of a financial trick. Only because I saw a post, and apparently now Britain First are asking people to leave donations to them in their wills. Like, you know, because they're a far-right group, and yeah, they don't have any costs. Doesn't cost them to run a page on Facebook, and through the level of hatred that that group shows, you shouldn't make a living from that. Just to throw a couple of opinions that way at you. So, what is so bad about Britain First? The real problem with Britain First is the actual content that they put on Facebook. And a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine shared a poster that they'd actually put on, and it's something like, share if you loved Princess Diana. And you know Princess Diana of Wales? Can't remember her surname, Diana of Wales. That wasn't a surname. And it had the lovely picture of her, and it was, you know, loads of people were liking it and sharing it, and I just thought, that is sick. That is genuinely sick. For all of the good that Princess Diana did, she would not want her image to be shared by the far right, like, at all. I mean, okay, she would have talked to the far right people, but she wasn't a far right supporter in any way. And when you have a look back at some of the work that she did in her life, you know she was not a supporter of the far right. You know, she was sort of one of the equality for all. She wanted a better life for people that didn't have much back then. And I am, while we're on this topic, I am really kind of glad to see that William and Harry are sort of keeping up their work. And yeah, that is really good. But back to the original point, Britain First have no right to be sharing that image, let alone even creating the fucking image. But that's it though, isn't it? Because they create posts like that, and a lot of people are dumb enough to literally just go, I'll share it because I love Diana. So when you share it, what happens on your Facebook is you basically get, let me do one of my expert drawings here, you have your name, I am literally scribbling it down, and then you have shared Britain First. That's what happens. Is that the right way round? I think it is. If my writing's backwards, I apologise. That's the camera's fault, not mine. So you have your name, and then it said shared Britain First. You are advertising for them. So it doesn't actually matter what the fuck they post. You're doing their advertising. So even more, the question of why would you want to give them money? Seriously. They get free advertising all over social media because people are dumb enough to fucking do it for them. So what do Britain First actually want? I mean, we know here that they are the far right. We've kind of already established that in this video. They want, like, for example, Muslims out of the country because they are very much on with a media that has been sort of representing Islam and Muslims to all be extremists, to all be terrorists, to all of the fucking Muslims in the world. They want to blow you up, that sort of thing. When it comes to immigration, and like I said in the last video about the refugees, when it comes to them, Britain First aren't of a thing of, oh, well, these people are only trying to make their life better. Britain First are, they're going to come after your house. They're going to throw you out on the street. They're going to take a shit on your kids. They're going to rob all your fucking money, and they're going to set fire to your dog. That's what they're going to do. That's the sort of level that Britain First is at. So why am I doing this video? Because I am fed fucking up of people sharing their shit on Facebook. I'm not going to block the Britain First page because that's too easy for them to get out. I want to educate the people that I have in my life. Britain First is not a good group. They are nothing to be proud of being a part of. And I mean that seriously. They are not good. Politically speaking, they're not going to get anywhere. In person speaking, you name me one of their rallies where there hasn't either been a kick-off, there hasn't been a counter-protest, there hasn't been arrests made, there hasn't been scuffles with the police, or there hasn't just been tons of football fucking hooligans turning up, wanting to cause a little bit of trouble, or even starting fucking race riots. So the next time that you see something on your social media, and I mean across any social media, have a look at who you're advertising for first. That's all that I ask. I don't care that you want to share an image because you think that the Princess of Wales is looking down on it and going, oh, that's nice. Facebook wasn't around when I was around, but I am totally on board with this. You can use my image royalty free, no pun intended, and you just share it to promote whatever you want. That's fine. Yeah, if that's what you want to think, fine, think it. I don't care about that. What I do care about is who you are promoting. And that's something that you all need to care about. So it's not going to be a really, really long video. I just wanted to make that point really, really quick. Because you possibly believed me in the beginning of this video. I know a lot of people will have been watching the start of that video. And they will have believed me. And you see how easy it is? Because I made that up on the spot. And that's what Britain First does. They make up shit. And people believe them. The shit that I made up, that's not going to cause harm to anybody. Okay, you're not really going to get mentally scarred by me saying it was created by the Russians when I don't even know if it was. But what does harm is when you're saying about refugees and you're saying don't allow them in the country, and if they turn up, we're going to turn up and we're going to get them out of the country. That's going to harm people. It's going to harm businesses when people turn up to these massive protests and businesses have to shut their doors because there's a huge protest in front of their business that no one actually wants there. Hi, Rotherham. And do you know, the far right, I mean, they are just crazy with their thoughts anyway over here in the United Kingdom. I think it's a fact that we can just easily establish that. But just let me get back to the original point. Just be careful with who you're advertising, and don't be stupid. Just, I don't know, research stuff.